Hey, what's going on? Jeff Ratcliffe here, and it's fantasy football draft season. That means it's time to talk some sleepers and busts. We have a whole series of sleeper videos, so go check them out on the YouTube channel. But today we're going to talk about busts. We have busts for you at running back, at quarterback. It's wide receiver time, though, right now. And we're going to start out in Los Angeles with the Rams. Brandon Cooks is out there now. Let's not forget that. He went from New England to Los Angeles, but he is on the bust list. We can't just simply look at last year's stats for Brandon Cooks because the situation is very different. He doesn't have Tom Brady throwing him the ball. Now, Jared Goff's doing a nice job, so that's fine and dandy, but he does get a downgrade there. It's an interesting offense, though. I get it. Sean McVay's offense is exciting, but let's remember, we have some mouths to feed in that offense. You have Robert Woods there. You have Cooper Kupp coming off a strong rookie season. In theory, you could see Cooks see fewer targets than both of those guys. I think they're all going to be in and around the same range in terms of target share, but it's not like Cooks just steps in and he's automatically the top target in this offense. He's also essentially assuming the role in this offense that we saw Sammy Watkins in last year. And I know a lot of folks in fantasy land were disappointed in Sammy Watkins' performance in 2018 fantasy leagues, 2017 fantasy leagues. So you got to consider all of these things. Don't overvalue Brandon Cooks, because if you do, he has the potential to go bust. Let's go to Cleveland up next. Jarvis Landry, another player who switched teams. Are we seeing a theme here? It's important to consider that, though, because when you change teams, your role may not be the same, the situation may not be the same, the offense may not be the same, and that is always important, especially when we're talking about wide receivers. And I know there's a lot of love for Jarvis Landry for a good reason. This is a guy who in 2015 went out and put up 110 catches. 110! And of course, last year, 112 catches. The guy is a monster for PPR. At least he has been over the course of his career. But now he goes into Cleveland. Of course, Josh Gordon is there, and Josh Gordon, it looks like, is finally on the straight and narrow, and that's good for fantasy. But Gordon is a target monster. He's going to see his share as well. So it's not like Landry just simply dominates the targets. Also, let's not forget this team did draft Baker Mayfield, so obviously he's the pegged long-term starter, but they brought in Tyrod Taylor in the offseason. So Tyrod Taylor looks to be the day one starter for the Cleveland Browns in 2018. What does Tyrod Taylor bring to the table? Well, he's an efficient quarterback. He doesn't throw interceptions, but he also doesn't take a lot of chances, and he's a dual threat quarterback. A very good running quarterback, but the more times that he runs means the fewer times that he passes. So less opportunities, less volume for Jarvis Landry in this offense. If you think you're getting Jarvis Landry of 2017 this year, I think you're going to have to think again about that one. He has the potential to go bust at where he's being drafted. Finally, another fantasy mainstay, Jordy Nelson. Also switched teams, going from Green Bay, where he's been forever. Now he's in Oakland with Gruden at head coach. And he isn't the number one anymore. The number one was always Jordy Nelson. It seemed like over the last several years there in Green Bay. It's Amari Cooper now in Oakland. So Jordy, not the number one, just turned 33 as well. And you know, with Jordy Nelson, he kind of got old quick. It seemed to happen very, very quickly there last season. Averaged just 9.1 yards per catch. That was by far the lowest of his career. So now he steps in, he's more in a complementary role. He's up there in age. We can't just simply trust that we're going to get the Jordy Nelson. Even 90% of the Jordy Nelson we got in the past, that might be a bit of a stretch there. So he has the potential to be a fantasy bust in 2018. Who's your wide receiver bust? Give us a comment below. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more videos from Pro Football Focus Fantasy. And for all of your fantasy needs, rankings, projections, tools, go check out ProFootballFocus.com.